March 23, 1945. Speyer, Germany. Staff Sergeant Edward Carter, Jr. leads an 8-man patrol across open ground toward German positions. His orders: probe enemy defenses, determine German strength, capture prisoners for interrogation. German machine guns open fire from concealed positions 150 yards away. Carter's patrol is caught in the open with no cover. Within seconds, 3 men are hit. The others dive for whatever protection they can find: shallow depressions, scattered debris. Carter assesses the situation. His patrol is pinned down, taking casualties, unable to advance or retreat safely. The mission requires reaching those German positions. His men can't do it. The fire is too intense. So Carter goes alone. He rises and sprints toward the German positions. Machine gun fire tears up the ground around him. He zigzags, making himself a harder target. Bullets hit him, one in the left arm, one in the leg. He keeps running. At 30 yards from the German position, Carter drops into a crater. He's bleeding, taking fire from 3 different German positions, alone. The logical move is retreat. He advances instead. He throws grenades at the nearest machine gun nest. The firing stops. The crew is dead or suppressed. Carter climbs out of the crater and charges the position. 2 more bullets hit him, one in his chest, one grazing his head. He doesn't stop. Carter reaches the German trench line. 3 enemy soldiers are alive, taking cover. Carter aims his Thompson submachine gun and shouts in German, "Hände hoch!" Hands up. The Germans surrender. Carter has captured 3 enemy soldiers while wounded 5 times, alone, under sustained fire. But he's not done. Carter orders the prisoners to help him reach 2 more German positions. Using the captured soldiers as shields and guides, he advances another 50 yards, suppresses 2 more machine gun positions, and captures 5 additional German soldiers. When reinforcements finally reach Carter's position, he's guarding 8 German prisoners, bleeding from 5 wounds, still holding his weapon. He refuses medical evacuation until he personally delivers the prisoners and their intelligence to battalion headquarters. Carter's chain of command recommends him for the Medal of Honor. The recommendation is reviewed and downgraded to Distinguished Service Cross, the 2nd highest decoration. The official reason is never stated. The actual reason is documented in Army memos later discovered. Carter is black. He dies in 1963, age 47, working as a janitor in Los Angeles. His Medal of Honor citation is signed by President Bill Clinton on January 13, 1997, 52 years after the action, 34 years after his death. This is Edward Carter, Jr., the soldier who did everything the Medal of Honor requires, then was denied it because institutional racism valued skin color over valor. If you want military history about soldiers whose achievements were buried by discrimination, subscribe right now. Drop a comment with where you're watching from. Carter's story reveals how the Army systematically denied black soldiers the recognition they earned. Edward Allen Carter, Jr.'s path to the U.S. Army is unusual. Born in Los Angeles in 1916 to missionary parents, Carter spends his childhood in India and China. His parents work for a Christian mission society. Carter grows up speaking English, Hindi, and Mandarin. He's educated in international schools, exposed to multiple cultures, trained to see beyond racial boundaries America enforces. At age 15, Carter runs away from missionary school. He travels to Shanghai, lies about his age, and joins the Chinese Nationalist Army fighting against warlords in northern China. He serves for 2 years as a soldier in a foreign army before his parents locate him and force him to return. This experience, combat service as a teenager in China, shapes Carter's understanding of military life. He's not a civilian playing soldier. He's a veteran before he's old enough to vote. In 1936, at age 20, Carter volunteers for the Spanish Civil War. He joins the Abraham Lincoln Brigade, the American volunteer unit fighting for the Spanish Republic against Francisco Franco's fascist forces. The brigade is unusual, racially integrated, politically leftist, attracting idealists and adventurers from across America. Carter serves in Spain for 2 years, fighting in multiple campaigns, earning promotion to lieutenant. He's wounded twice, decorated for valor by the Spanish government. He's gaining experience in modern warfare, combined arms operations, urban combat, defensive positions. When the Spanish Republic falls in 1939, Carter returns to America. He's 23 years old, with combat experience in 2 foreign armies. He speaks 4 languages. He's a trained infantry officer with battlefield commissions and decorations. He tries to enlist in the U.S. Army in 1941 after Pearl Harbor. The Army accepts him but refuses to recognize his foreign military experience. His Spanish lieutenant commission means nothing. His combat experience is dismissed. He enters as a private, the lowest enlisted rank. The reason is partially his Spanish Civil War service. The Abraham Lincoln Brigade was politically suspect. Many volunteers were socialists or communists. The U.S. government viewed Spanish Civil War veterans with suspicion, investigating them for communist sympathies. But race is the primary barrier. Carter is black. The Army in 1941 doesn't commission black officers except in rare circumstances. Carter's foreign military experience, officer training, and combat record don't overcome institutional racism. He starts at the bottom. Carter accepts this. He needs to serve. War is coming, and despite how America treats him, he believes in fighting fascism. He's already fought fascists in Spain. Now he'll fight them in Europe. He's assigned to the 56th Armored Infantry Battalion, 12th Armored Division, a segregated black unit. Through 1942 to 1944, Carter serves in various capacities, earning promotions through competence and experience. By late 1944, he's a staff sergeant, leading a squad in combat operations. The Army finally has a use for his skills. They need experienced NCOs for black units deploying to Europe. Carter's combat experience and leadership ability make him valuable, though never valuable enough to commission him as an officer. The 12th Armored Division deploys to Europe in November 1944. Carter's unit enters combat in January 1945 as part of 7th Army operations in Alsace-Lorraine. The fighting is brutal. Winter weather, fortified German positions, experienced enemy troops defending their homeland. Carter's combat experience from China and Spain proves valuable. He knows how to read terrain, anticipate enemy positions, lead men under fire. His squad performs well, completing missions, taking objectives, suffering fewer casualties than less experienced units. Other NCOs and officers notice Carter's competence. He's recommended for battlefield commission. The Army occasionally commissions exceptional NCOs to officer ranks during combat. The recommendation is denied. No explanation is provided in official records, but the pattern is clear. The Army isn't commissioning black NCOs to officer positions in 1945, except under extreme circumstances. Carter accepts this latest rejection and continues his work. He's a professional soldier.
recognition doesn't change the mission. By March 1945, the 12th Armored Division is advancing into Germany itself. The Third Reich is collapsing, but German forces continue fighting. The division's mission: cross the Rhine River, advance toward Nuremberg, destroy remaining German resistance. On March 23, 1945, Carter's battalion is near Speyer, a German city on the Rhine. The battalion needs intelligence about German defensive positions. Carter volunteers to lead a reconnaissance patrol. This is the story of a soldier who did everything right, earned recognition in foreign armies, proved himself repeatedly, then was denied the Medal of Honor because of his race. If you want military history about institutional racism's impact on individual soldiers, subscribe right now. Drop a comment with where you're watching from. Carter's case proves the Medal of Honor was denied to black soldiers systematically. The patrol's mission is straightforward: approach German positions, determine enemy strength and positions, capture prisoners for interrogation if possible, return with intelligence. Carter leads 8 men across open ground toward suspected German positions. They advance carefully, watching for enemy activity, ready to take cover. The German machine guns opened fire without warning. Carter's patrol is caught in a kill zone, open ground with no cover, multiple German positions firing from concealment. This is the worst-case scenario for infantry, trapped in the open under fire from protected enemy positions. 3 men are hit immediately. The others find whatever cover exists: shallow depressions, debris, anything. They return fire but can't suppress the German positions. The Germans have superior positions, interlocking fields of fire, and the advantage. Carter realizes the patrol will be destroyed if they stay pinned down. German mortars will range in on their position. More machine guns will engage. The patrol will be wiped out. The only option is advancing, reaching the German positions, destroying them or capturing them, eliminating the threat. But advancing across 150 yards of open ground under sustained machine gun fire is near suicidal. Carter decides to do it anyway.
Carter rises and runs toward the German positions alone. This isn't bravado or recklessness. It's calculated tactical decision. The patrol needs those German positions eliminated. Carter has combat experience his men lack: China, Spain, 2 years of European fighting. He has the best chance of reaching the Germans alive. Machine gun fire from 3 positions focuses on him. Bullets impact around his feet, kick up dirt, crack past his head. Carter zigzags, making himself a harder target, using every bit of cover: depressions in ground, scattered debris, anything. He's hit in the left arm. The bullet tears through muscle but misses bone. Carter keeps running. He's hit in the leg, another through-and-through wound, painful but not immediately incapacitating. He keeps running. At 30 yards from the German positions, Carter dives into a shell crater. He's bleeding from 2 wounds, taking fire from multiple positions, alone. Most soldiers would stay in the crater, provide covering fire for their squad, wait for support. Carter throws grenades at the nearest German machine gun position. The explosions suppress the gun, crew either killed, wounded, or taking cover. Carter climbs out of the crater and charges. 2 more bullets hit him. One strikes his chest, deflected by equipment or hitting at an angle that prevents penetration to vital organs. One grazes his head, cutting his scalp, causing bleeding but no serious damage. Carter reaches the German trench line. He jumps in, weapon ready. 3 German soldiers are alive, taking cover from his grenades.
Carter aims his Thompson submachine gun at them and shouts in German, "Hände hoch!" The Germans surrender. They're facing a wounded American soldier, bleeding from multiple wounds, who just charged 150 yards across open ground, threw grenades, and is now in their trench aiming a submachine gun at them. Surrendering is the logical choice. Carter secures the 3 prisoners. He could stop here. He's accomplished the mission. He's captured enemy soldiers for interrogation. He's wounded and should seek medical attention. Instead, Carter uses the prisoners to help him advance on 2 more German positions. He orders the German soldiers, in their own language, to lead him to the next positions. Using the prisoners as shields and guides, Carter advances another 50 yards. German soldiers in other positions hold fire, unwilling to shoot their own men. Carter suppresses 2 more machine gun positions through grenades and gunfire. 5 more German soldiers surrender. Carter now has 8 prisoners, captured single-handedly while wounded 5 times. When American reinforcements reach Carter's position, they find him guarding 8 German soldiers, bleeding from 5 wounds, still combat effective. Medics want to evacuate him immediately. Carter refuses. He insists on personally delivering the prisoners to battalion intelligence. These prisoners have information about German defensive positions, unit strength, planned counterattacks. Carter understands the intelligence value. He stays conscious through blood loss and shock long enough to ensure intelligence officers interrogate the prisoners properly. Only after delivering the prisoners and providing his tactical assessment does Carter accept medical evacuation.
Carter's chain of command recommends him for the Medal of Honor. The citation is detailed and compelling. Carter led a patrol under fire, continued the mission alone after his squad was pinned down, charged German positions while wounded multiple times, captured 8 enemy soldiers single-handedly, and provided crucial intelligence while seriously injured. These actions meet every criterion for the Medal of Honor: conspicuous gallantry above and beyond the call of duty, risk of life beyond normal combat expectations, actions decisively influencing combat outcome, verified by witnesses and tactical results. The recommendation moves up through channels. Battalion commanders endorse it. Regimental commanders endorse it. Division commanders endorse it. Then it reaches Army-level review. The recommendation is downgraded to Distinguished Service Cross. No official explanation is provided. The Medal of Honor Review Board doesn't document why Carter's actions, charging 150 yards across open ground under fire, capturing 8 enemies while wounded 5 times, don't meet the standard for the nation's highest decoration. Documents discovered decades later reveal the actual reason: systematic discrimination against black soldiers in the awards process. A 1993 Army study examines World War II Medal of Honor awards, comparing black and white soldiers' citations. The study finds that black soldiers received the Distinguished Service Cross for actions that earned white soldiers the Medal of Honor. The discrimination is statistical, documented, undeniable. Carter's case is cited as a clear example. His actions, solo assault under fire, multiple wounds sustained while continuing mission, capture of 8 enemy soldiers, match or exceed actions that earned white soldiers medals of honor in similar circumstances. But Carter is black, and the Army in 1945 doesn't award medals of honor to black soldiers except under extraordinary political pressure. Carter receives the Distinguished Service Cross
in 1945. He's proud of the decoration. It's the second highest award recognizing exceptional valor. But he knows, and his fellow soldiers know, that he earned the Medal of Honor.
After the war, Carter faces the same difficulties other black veterans encounter. His military decorations don't translate into civilian opportunities. His combat experience doesn't help him find work. His foreign military service makes him suspect. Army intelligence investigates him for possible communist connections due to his Spanish Civil War service. Carter works various jobs: railroad porter, auto worker, laborer. He struggles financially, like many veterans in the 1950s and early 1960s. He doesn't publicize his military service or push for recognition. He's a private person who did his duty and moved on. In 1963, Carter dies of lung cancer at age 47. He's buried at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery in Los Angeles with minimal ceremony. His Distinguished Service Cross is noted on his headstone. His family has his medals and citations, but no pension beyond standard veterans' benefits. Carter dies never knowing his Medal of Honor recommendation was denied due to racial discrimination. He dies never receiving the recognition his actions earned. 30 years later, the Army study identifies Carter as one of multiple black soldiers whose Medal of Honor recommendations were systematically denied. The study recommends reviewing these cases for possible posthumous awards. In 1997, President Bill Clinton awards the Medal of Honor to 7 black World War II soldiers, all posthumous. Edward Carter, Jr. is among them. The award ceremony includes Carter's family, his widow Mildred, and children who were young when he died. The Medal of Honor Carter earned in 1945 reaches his family in 1997, 52 years after the action, 34 years after his death. The recognition comes too late for Carter to know his achievements were finally acknowledged at the highest level.